Hello everyone and welcome to our channel Mootechie. It's wonderful to have you here as we delve into a very important topic today. Let's begin our journey into understanding the complex world of man-made disasters. Now let's move on to our first concept. A disaster is a serious disruption of normal life. We can broadly classify disasters into two main types. First, we have natural disasters. A natural disaster is an event that is caused by a natural hazard and leads to human, material, economic and environmental losses, which exceed the ability of those affected to cope. Examples include floods, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, tsunamis and other geological processes. Next, we explore man-made disasters. This is a serious disruption of normal life triggered by a human-induced hazard causing environmental, economic or life loss. Following this, we'll see that man-made disasters are further categorized. The main types we will discuss are nuclear disaster, chemical disaster, biological disaster, and technological disaster. Let us now look at the first type, nuclear disaster. The International Atomic Energy Agency defines a nuclear and radiation accident as an event that has led to significant consequences to people, the environment, or the facility. To understand the severity of these events, we have the International Nuclear Event Scale. This scale includes levels such as accident, which is broken down into major accident, serious accident, accident with wider consequences, and accident with local consequences. Below accidents, we have serious incident, incident, anomaly, and finally deviation. So what causes such events? Nuclear weapons are thus far more destructive and harmful to the society than any other weapon. Many countries in the world have developed nuclear energy. It's important to note that developed countries reiterate that nuclear energy will be used only for peaceful purposes. Now let's understand the consequences. Radiation is released into the environment and people get hurt. Nuclear radiation keeps on showing its effect for a considerable period of time even after its explosion, and those who survive become mental and physical wrecks due to the impact of nuclear radiation. Two of the most famous nuclear accidents occurred at the 3 Mile Island Reactor 2 in the United States and the Chernobyl Reactor 4 in the former Soviet Union. This brings us to mitigation measures. We should keep ourselves informed about the government plans and should act in accordance with official communication. Nuclear activity may affect our health and cause nausea, giddiness, etc., and for that medical help should be available. Moving forward, let's discuss biological disasters. Biological disasters define the devastating effects that may be caused by an enormous spread of a certain kind of living organism. That may be the spread of a disease, a virus, an epidemic, but also just a sudden growth of the population of a certain kind of plants or animals, for example Ebola and swine flu. What are the causes of such disasters? Biological disaster spreads through the organism that is developed in the form of bacteria or microbes. Biological agents spread fast in the environment and then make an attack on human beings. The people inhale these microbes. When these microbes find themselves a host body, they start affecting the immune systems of the body. Microbes also enter the human body through open wounds or cuts. The consequences are often severe. The attack of the microbes is generally slow, but once they are spread in the body, it becomes difficult to control them. Sometimes it takes the life of the affected persons. Many a time, it becomes difficult to diagnose the illness caused by these microbes, and it proves to be fatal. So how can we mitigate these risks? Whenever we learn or hear about danger of communicable diseases through official announcements on radio or TV, then we can take adequate preventive and protective measures. We should quite often try to help in taking this type of noble cause and solve the problem of affected people, or try to create a fund for this uncertain event. Now let's turn our attention to chemical disasters. By their nature, a chemical disaster may be defined as the manufacture, storage and transport of chemicals, which may lead to accidents waiting to happen. Chemicals can be corrosive, toxic, and they may react, often explosively. What are the main causes? Chemical weapons are the main cause of such disasters. Sometimes handling of hazardous chemicals in an irresponsible way can cause chemical disasters. Chemical disasters may also be caused by industrial accidents. The impacts can be devastating. The effects of chemical accidents can be deadly for both human beings and the environment. Chemical weapons are also weapons of mass destruction. Sometimes handling of hazardous chemicals in an irresponsible way can cause much destruction. The poisonous gases spread in the atmosphere, and the people who inhale the same air face dangerous consequences. Let's discuss the mitigation measures for chemical disasters. Those industries which use hazardous chemicals or produce such chemicals should have a contingency action plan to help people if such a disaster takes place. Such industries should have timely warning systems so that people can immediately take safety measures, such as locking their houses and taking the family and animals away to a safe place. Stringent safety measures and checkups in the factory and critical analysis of the working condition of the factory will help to take timely measures to check any disaster. A tragic real-world example is the Bhopal disaster. A gas leak occurred on December 3, 1984, involving methyl isocyanate or MIC. This disaster led to 8,000 people dying and 50,000 being injured. The gas leaked from a Union Carbide plant at night. The main health effects were pulmonary edema and skin and eye damage, including total blindness. Secondary effects included bronchitis and bronchial pneumonia. People fled from the poison gas in the middle of the night. The slide includes an image described as a Bhopal victim, showing the human cost of this catastrophe. Coming up, we'll discuss technological disasters. A technological disaster is an event caused by a malfunction of a technological structure and/or some human error in controlling or handling the technology. The effects of a disaster on families and individuals may be long-lasting and can endure for years. However, symptoms may appear gradually and impacts may not be seen immediately. All types of disasters are challenging, but technological disasters tend to be even more difficult. Let's look at some examples. In addition to the Deepwater Horizon/BP oil spill, radiation leaks are another example of a technological disaster, such as in the recent case of the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power station in Japan and previous accidents at Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island. Fires or explosions such as the station nightclub fire in Warwick, Rhode Island that was caused by a pyrotechnics malfunction are also examples of technological disasters. Chemical spills from trucks or trains would also be considered technological disasters. These examples all have differing characteristics and effects on the environment and residents of the immediate disaster area. The consequences are often psychological and social. Technological disasters are stressful, especially because they are unpredictable. Individuals, families, and communities are affected. Some of the results include income loss, loss of job security, uncertainty about the future, family conflict, and stress. In particular, post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, depression and anxiety symptoms were common responses to a disaster similar to the Deepwater Horizon, BP oil spill, and the Exxon Valdez oil spill. Impacts may persist over time for some individuals, while others show resilience earlier. So what can we do to cope? Here are some mitigation measures for individuals. Maintain routine as much as possible. Reduce exposure to media covering the event. Stay healthy and find healthy ways to reduce stress, such as doing things outside, getting exercise, and doing stress reduction exercises. Seek accurate sources of information to better understand the situation. Talk to someone you trust. Keep a positive perspective, you can get through this. And seek professional help if you are feeling depressed, anxious, or have trouble controlling your emotions. Now let's shift our focus to a different kind of man-made disaster: forest fires. What is a wildfire or forest fire? Wildfires are larger fires which often start in wild land areas. The causes of forest fires are divided into natural causes and man-made causes. Natural causes include lightning, high atmospheric temperatures, and low humidity. Man-made causes include fire caused by a source like a flame, a cigarette or biddy, or an electric spark. Forest fires can be divided into two broad categories: environmental, which are beyond control, and human-related, which are controllable. Environmental causes include climate conditions like temperature, wind speed, level of moisture, and duration of dry spell. Other environmental causes can be the friction of bamboo swaying due to high-velocity wind, or a rolling stone that results in sparking. It has been estimated that 90% of forest fires in India are man-made. Fire starts accidentally by careless visitors to the forest, or intentionally by people living around forests for recreation or for agriculture purposes, such as collecting flowers of Maduca indica or leaves of Diospyros melanoxylon. Another cause is shifting cultivation, which is a form of agriculture used especially in tropical Africa, in which an area of ground is cleared of vegetation and cultivated for a few years, and then abandoned for a new area until its fertility has been naturally restored. There are two main types of forest fire: surface fire and crown fire. A surface fire burns primarily on the surface, consuming dry grasses, leaves, and twigs, and it spreads with the flames. A crown fire is when the crown of the trees and shrubs burn. On hill slopes, if a fire starts downhill, it is more dangerous. Crown fires are generally more dangerous compared to surface fires. Let's understand the effects of wildfire. It is a major cause for forest degradation and has a wide range of economic and social effects. These include loss of valuable timber resources, degradation of catchment areas, loss of biodiversity and extinction of plants and animals, loss of wildlife habitat and depletion of wildlife. It contributes to global warming. There is a loss of carbon sink resources and an increase in the percentage of oil, and it can contribute to ozone layer depletion. The slide includes a diagram comparing the ground before fire and after fire. The after fire section shows a blackened layer, described as blackened iron powder made hail, and illustrates how the active layer warms and deepens, while the permafrost layer shrinks. So how can we prevent wildfires? The incidence of forest fires in the country is increasing and more area is burned each year. The major cause of this failure is the piecemeal approach to the problem. Important forest fire management elements like strategic fire centers, coordination among ministries, funding, human resource development, fire research, fire management and extension programs are often missing. The Ministry of Environment and Forests, Government of India, has prepared a national master plan for forest fire control. This plan proposes to introduce a well-coordinated and integrated fire management program that includes the following components: prevention of human-caused fires through education and environmental modification, which includes silvicultural activities and engineering works. It also emphasizes the prompt detection of fires through a well-coordinated network of observation points, efficient ground monitoring, and communication networks. Remote sensing technology is to be given due importance in fire detection. For successful fire management and administration, a National Fire Danger Rating System or NFDRS and a fire forecasting system are crucial. Finally, let's look at some wildfire precautions. These include practical works like fire line cleaning, involving joint forest management communities, creating water bodies, and the purchase of vehicles and firefighting tools. Thank you. See you in the next class.